lost my note if I die. Think I tried to write this song 370 times. I can never say this, but I think for a reason that's so much bigger than me. Used to wanna deal, used to wanna grow up. Now I don't wanna grow no more. Got bills, got tax, got stress. Now I ignore all of my texts. I don't want friends, no way, you fake. 6 months in, no raise. Better hope that this album gets placed, or it's right back to them 9 to 5 days. JK, I'm chillin', we fine. Got that Spotify pride. Might flex the numbers too much, but nah, yeah, that's when we climb. Took time to register, but change takes time. No range.
No, so I'm pretty American by now. I consider myself more American than German.
Yeah. How old are you again? 23?
23, yeah, I just turned 23 like
nuts.
A week ago. How old are you?
24.
24. That's nuts, you're like same age as me.
It's same age, but like it's just crazy how young some of you guys are, like with cryptocurrency and stuff. But it is such a young world.
It is, dude. When I was at Bitcoin Miami at the conference, there was like almost nobody under the age of 40.
Yeah, and I wouldn't expect it. It's such a young world.
You guys left the key so we don't lock ourselves out.
Yeah, the key's there and I got the code.
What's up? Just got back from the mansion.
We're gonna walk to a restaurant, man.
When I first got in, like, I bought like 4K worth of ETH. I think like in the 2 figures, you know, in the 2 digits. And now I'm just like, I should have just like gone all in.
Man.
The altcoins, like the hodl coins I just picked, like in December 25th.
Yeah.
They're up like 100%, 200%, 400%. I'm just like, fuck. And even now with the drop, you know, I really can't complain. Like when people message me like it's like doomsday, like look, the bubble burst, blah blah blah. I'm like, bro, I'm still up from January 1st.
Maybe a couple of years from now, you'd be saying the same thing. We were talking about it when it was 10 grand, and now it's worth whatever.
Yep, I actually made a video about that earlier. We were in like downtown San Francisco, and like after walking, I just realized like all like the super big, like the biggest buildings, fanciest and everything, it's all banks, you know. So like obviously, like, you know, the banking industry is like it's trillions of dollars, you know. So like if crypto replaces the banks, then there's no question that cryptos could be worth so much. You know, people say, oh, it's overvalued at 500 billion, but I'm like, every single one of these banks is worth more. What's up? We're back at the Crypto Academy crib right here in San Francisco in the hills. Here with Jate, Karen Morehouse in the house. What's up, guys? Sanford, one of my former interns from Fontes is here. Cole's still rocking it all the way from Canada, so we're having a killer time. We got our first swag. I don't know if you saw yet. Crypto Academy shirts. Buy the FUD, sell the FOMO. So essentially, when they're freaking out, you buy, and when they're hyping too much, you get out. So it's gonna be an awesome night. We got the whole crypto ourselves. I don't think he asked me like, how did it go? I'm like, oh, good. Nah, I was like emotionally dead. Like I lost so much money in such a short time that I was like emotionally numb. What you have to understand is like, you know, it's the money I traded was like not like parents gave it to me. It was like I earned that at minimum wage. Yeah. So I earned it at $8 an hour or something like that. Like shelving, like working like a warehouse, like stocking shelves and shit like that. So I was like, I just lost like 120 hours of work in like an hour and 20 minutes. I was like, so after that, you know, instead of saying, you know, I quit, it's probably because of red market wizards and all that. I was like, you know, like, I know I fucked up really bad just now, but for all the money I lost, there was somebody else on the other side of the table that made all that money off of me.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? So I was like, you know, there is a way to win this game. And reading market wizards, I was like, you know, there's guys that have been making like 100% ROI year after year after year. So there is a method to madness. If there wasn't, there wouldn't be a whole industry around it. The problem is back then, I don't think at that point I had a trading plan. Yeah. That's what came after. So my biggest takeaway from that was like, you know, I really took a close look at what I was doing. I was saying like, all these guys, I'm managing to be consistent. So what separates me from them? So setting up a trading plan was a big thing, you know, like taking a close look at my risk management and essentially trying to learn from every single trade. So when I journal, for example, of a winning trade, I try to see like, how did I turn, like, this was
what factors?
Right, so like what factor, like this was an awesome trade. How can I find trades like this again? Or this was a losing trade. How could I have prevented this? Or how could I have cut this into a smaller loss? But like I write down every single trade. Like back then physically, now I do more with the computer. And you know, I measure everything. So for example, when I started crypto trading, I would measure everything from, you know, how much do I spend on fees? when I exit and re-enter, how many dollars I'm actually like increase my crypto account by, or do I on average actually decrease my crypto account? Like there's so many things you can measure and track, all the way down to like at what hour of the day are you performing best. So it really helps being methodical, because you can't grow unless you measure. Initially when I was trading on Coinbase, and like for example, let's say I had a winning, like my first weeks on the big Bitcoin challenge, because I started with $6,000, I made like $600 to $800. I think it was $800 a week, right? So I made $800 a week, but I placed something, let's say like 20 trades, and even if just 5 of them were, even if just 5 of them were market orders, that means I spent something like $200 on fees. That means of $800 profit, $200 were fees. So like I could have had like 20% or 23% more profit if I hadn't, like, you know, if I switched to an exchange where I paid less fees. So like it's a lot bigger than you would think. You don't become a good trader by reading books. You don't become a good trader by watching videos. You become a better trader, but if you never start, then like obviously you're never growing. So for example, I would say with trading, you can skip a huge part of the learning curve by taking courses, for example. So, and skipping part of the learning curve with trading directly translate into saving money, because it's expensive learning and trading. But some of the things you really have to just like straight up be out in the field, so to say, like actually practice, and like you got to get a couple scores until you get. I think it's just important to find out what works for you, and that's why like with Crypto Academy, I'm never really saying like this is the strategy that will make you a ton of money, this is the strategy you have to use, but rather I teach you the tools and then I say, now write a trading plan, pick whatever works for you. Like I don't care if you're a momentum trader, I don't care if you're a reversal trader, like whatever works for you, use that. And I always stress like it has to work with your psychology, right? Because the problem is, and that's why also I'm not a big fan of like, you know, telling you guys specifically like you should buy this or you should trade this, because
you're not gonna learn on your own.
You're not gonna learn on your own, or like what works for me doesn't necessarily work for you. So some people, they're like adrenaline junkies and they want to take really stupid risky trades. Other people are super hedged where like, you know, maybe even some of the things I do are too risky for them. So you really got to do what works for you.
Straight up facts. My past reasons I don't sleep. I feel like God done chose me.
I teach you guys, you know, I say like, if people run ads, it's like a red flag, you know, like, cause like they spend money on the wrong things. What do you follow if somebody tells you? You know, so that's why I'm always like yes, you guys pay me, but like take it as a positive, because there's so many Facebook groups where like, oh, I'm getting free advice from this YouTube star, I'm getting free advice from this guy and this guy. But the way they make money is by selling you on shit, like on shit that like maybe an ISO pays them 10K, maybe the ISO pays them 50K, and in turn they give you, you know, the advice spot basically, you know. So they give you some free videos, but in exchange they'll pitch you in some shit coin that paid them a lot of money. So you're gonna invest into it and you're gonna lose money. So that's why I'm like always very cautious of like, you know, where you put your, I guess, your trust and your advice. And that's why anything I will ever recommend in Crypto Academy, even if it's like a trade, I always caution. I say like the biggest buy signal is when I buy it myself, and I'll tell you guys when I buy it myself. That's why I have the copy portfolio and stuff like that. Because like this, I think there's so many like influencers or YouTube stars and whatnot. They say like, yeah, this is an awesome coin. Like, go buy it. I'm like, did you buy it? No, not really. You know, like, fuck. You know, what does that mean? So, because if you're not gonna buy it yourself, why do you recommend it?
Oh, it's cold. Oh, it got colder, I swear.
What? This is cold?
Dude. Dude, I can't, dude. All I do is weightlifting.